are streaming. We are screaming. I meant streaming. Okay, so no kidding. I'm going to have first of all, I want to acknowledge my husband that he has been working with our teams in Puerto Rico to get our house ready for all of our Mentor Me Live clients that are coming. There's a good handful of them coming to Puerto Rico, and some of them are coming to my house, and I'm still in construction mayhem, and I just want to give so much kudos if my husband's watching right now. You are a champion, and you are an incredible human being, and thank you for launching a business, handling our leadership programs, and being the general contractor of a build out when you don't speak Spanish. So you can only imagine the level of frustration when you're doing Google Translator for every 2 seconds in a conversation, right? And so we are kind of the end of our construction, which is really awesome. And my studio, you guys can't see it yet. I'm not gonna share it with you until all of the designers are done. But for some of you guys, we took a side of our house that was a storage room in this house that we bought, and we cleaned it out. We mold treated it, did everything, and we literally went and got these panels from Amazon. They're sound panels so that I don't echo. We have a big LED screen that we put up that we actually ordered on Alibaba. It cost us $5,000 to put a big LED screen up, which is nothing compared to what you're going to see as the production gets handled. We have a new lighting system, tracks going on the ceiling to be able to, where I can have 2 scenes inside this office, which was just a little storage room on the side of the house. And so I share this with you because I don't know about you, but working inside my house is incredibly not productive. Like with my son, our house manager, my husband just wants to roll in. I gave him kudos so I can say this. He likes to roll and go, so let me tell you about, and I'm like, I'm in the middle of writing, and I'm like, oh, you just broke my stream of consciousness, right? And so I find it highly unproductive to work in my house because everybody, my office is like a revolving door. And so it's been challenging. And now that I finally have this space, I just want to encourage anybody who's been thinking about building out a space for yourself, do it. It's really great. So all that to be said, we're going to talk about my one strategic plan. We're going to stop the spin if you got to spin, but we're also just going to, for some of you guys, make you feel so much better in the plan that you're doing. I think the first quarter of the year for some people are explosive, and for most people it's not. For most people, it is kind of getting back into the game. And we don't realize how long it takes to shift gears after the holidays to get back into work. Does that make sense? So I have something called a one-page strategic plan. And I will tell you, almost everything on this plan has gone to shit in a handbasket. Sorry if there's a child watching. It has not happened. And then I realized, well, I'm not at the end of the year yet. I literally had a moment where I pulled this out the other day. I was like, yep, pretty much nothing on this plan has happened. I know that's not very inspiring. But what I'd realized is that I still wasn't at the end of the year. And I didn't really pay attention to that when I pulled this up and looked at it and was strategizing what are my next moves. So how many of you guys feel behind already? Put a B for behind, put a B for behind. You already feel behind, put a B for behind. Put it in the chat, let's see ya, right? Who's already feeling that? Put a B in the chat if you're feeling behind. If you're feeling on point, maybe there's a few things behind, but you're actually feeling pretty on point, put a P. Put a P. If you're actually feeling pretty on point, put a P in the chat. Okay, so notice there's many more B's than P's, right? And so those P's are already very highly motivated project managers. They're already good at that. Okay, so no, we won't take that from them. Good job, you guys who are on point. Seriously, that's phenomenal. Okay, so I want to share with you my one-page strategic plan. You guys who came to Zone Event, I did print these out at Zone Event, but I have a big size one that will go up on my wall again. And what I'm doing is just refining my small one onto my big one and going, what really is the most important thing? So if you're a Mentor Me Live or 1%, let me tell you something. You guys have a pocket coaching going out today. You need to listen to your pocket coaching today and tomorrow. It's really important. Okay, did anybody get that already who's in Mentor Me Live? Put yes if you did. Put yes if you already got that. Okay, awesome. If you did not get that, somebody needs to go post, Good Samaritan Mentor Me Live needs to go post that audio in the Facebook group and tag people because it's important for you guys to listen to today's and tomorrow. Now, all that to be said, it's critically important that if you're meant to be live, to come to the mastermind in Puerto Rico. And let me tell you something. I know you guys who are not meant to be live, this is not for you, but let me have a captive audience with my clients right now. I have a friend coming that is not only going to help you with AI, but help you make money with AI. Okay, I have another friend that is training us right now how to take a campaign that cost him $10,000 to run, which I know that's a lot, but he makes out of, if he spends $10,000 on the team to run it, okay? Some of you guys are running things entirely too long yourself. What if you felt safe on this? He spent $10,000 for the team, the people to implement, and makes $400,000 off this campaign every single month. Okay, so I share this with you because this is not an income claim. I'm just saying there's a way out of every financial slowdown or pitfall that you have. You can go from chunking along to like, right? And it really just, it depends so much on kind of already your strengths and weaknesses, what plan you deploy. Right? And so for you guys who are in Meant to Be Live, if you're thinking about Meant to Be Live, this was not why I said this, by the way, hand on a Bible, but if you're thinking about Meant to Be Live, you should put the word coach in the chat and somebody will talk to you about Meant to Be Live. For real, put the word coach in the chat and somebody will talk to you about Meant to Be Live. But listen to me, if you're Meant to Be Live or 1%, we're going to show you this campaign. I'm deploying it. Okay, and here's the challenge with people who don't listen to people like Tony Robbins that say, who are the 5 closest people you spend your time with? I had a young girl come and cook for me in my kitchen last night, incredible human being. And she was like, I just want to give back to you. And she yesterday from dinner for Cinco de Mayo and came home and this young lady's cooking in my kitchen. She wants to do this stuff online and launch an online course. She's like, I've tried Instagram and just nothing has really taken yet. And I'm like, so do you have any friends that are doing what you want to do? And she goes, no. I go, well, that's a problem. Do you know what I mean? So like we're told this all the time, what we should do, but yet a lot of times we get caught in the weeds and we miss the thing that's going to give us the leverage. Does that make sense? Put the word leverage in the chat if you want leverage. For real, you should write the word leverage in the chat. Now, hear me when I say that. That is a prioritization challenge, which is why I want to go over the one-page strategic plan right now. The reason why you don't hit the levers that actually push your business up is because you're so busy in the grind to get things done. Now, if you had faith or trust that if you invested $10,000 in a team that could produce you $400,000 in the month, would you do it? Right? If you knew for sure it would work, would you go find 10 grand today to do it? Would you go get a credit card? Would you go borrow money? Would you sell your freaking car? You know, what would you do? Would you do it? Yes or no? I sold my car, so I use that as examples all the time, right? I sold my car, worked out of a closet, and dated a guy who was talking to another woman who was covering my overhead. I mean, I was a mess. I mean, everything about my life was not working. Do you know what I mean? And as soon as you see it, you can drive towards it, but you have to have faith that if I push on this, it will produce that. Okay? And a lot of times you guys already know what some of your desires are that you want, like the young lady in my kitchen, but yet her environment is not set up for her to win. Okay? She has a great family, but you can't spend 24/7 with your family if they're not already creating the results that she wants, and she's going to have the future she wants. Does that make sense? Like the future she wants is going to come down to who she spends her time with. Period. Do you know what I mean? And it's not an either or, family or business. That's not the case. Okay? It's an and. You can have both. Okay? So you guys come in the mastermind. We are going to do this strategy at the mastermind. Say yes! If you're meant to be live, we are going to do this strategy. It's going to take us 2 hours to implement it all the way through. You're going to do your messaging. You're going to do the push through. We're going to do all of it. You won't invest $10,000. You're just going to come to the mastermind. We're going to do it. Okay? Which is going to be awesome. Second thing that we're going to do is we're going to have AI, my friend Terrence. How many of you guys were on the Take Real Action Challenge a couple weeks ago? Right? Terrence is coming to work with our clients. Right? Secondly, we asked who was on with Kira last week, or 2 weeks ago? Kira, where you guys saw my girlfriend Kira, super smart chick. You want to talk about multiplying money? She multiplies money like she goes to the bathroom every day. It's unbelievable. It's just an easy. She's got the muscle. It's not hard. It's just she just thinks that way. So she's got that in a superpower. See, you got to have superpower friends around you, because then you can go, oh, that's what I want, right? So Kira is going to come, and we are actually going to raise money in the mastermind. Okay, so I may pull a clip out of that or do something else for you guys who are not in our mentor programs, because I think that's really important. Your access to cash is everything. So this is not, we're not going to ask them to go into debt, so to speak, on a credit card. This is, how do you legitimately raise money for your business? What do you have to look at? What has to be working? How do you go get the cash? Some of you guys, I'll tell you, and I was like this, you're so stressed about paying your bills that you can't even get yourself to open up to go all into your business. And pressure is a privilege, but for some people, it's a curse, because they haven't figured out, how do I unleash some of this pressure so that I can work? Do you guys hear what I'm saying? So this is big. So we are actually going to show you, and we're going to do it, how to actually raise $500,000, even if you don't feel ready. Even if you don't feel ready. You don't have to deploy on it. You don't have to take the money. But you guys in the mastermind, we're going to show you how to do it, which, by the way, can I tell you that I wanted to learn that for probably 8 years. And there's just nobody to teach it to you. There's just not. Like, it's because everybody who can do it, they just do it. Okay, so it's the third thing. This is not what I have locked in yet, but my intention is to have a crypto person come. My friend who's going to teach this strategy, how he's taking 10,000, producing 400,000 every month. He also is in the same strategy I am for my clients. So what I want you to be thinking about is, when you have a buyer, listen to how I'm creating my mastermind for my Mentor Me Live 1% clients. You need to ask yourself, when someone buys from you, where are you taking them based on the current state of the world? Okay, it's really important, whether it's in fitness, trauma release, homeschooling, whatever it is. You need to be very, very connected with what's happening in the world, and how do you deliver your product or sell your product, or how does somebody consume your product based on what's happening in the world? Okay, so crypto is really important. I do not train crypto, and I'm not a big fan of learning crypto from courses, because now the people who understand crypto, they don't do courses because they're making so much money in crypto. Does that make sense? So they're not in the business of making their money off education. They're actually investors that multiply. Does that make sense to you guys? And so my friend who's coming for this is Richard. Richard, who's going to come train this. Normally, Richard would just come into my company and help us. And then I just add another $400,000 to my monthly. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Because of proximity to power, that's the stuff I can't replicate again. You guys, who you spend your time with, it matters with the speed. Some of you guys who don't feel like you're moving fast enough, I'm telling you, you're hanging out with people who don't have what you want. Yeah, like, I can't be any more honest. You've heard it before. This isn't the first time you've heard it, but yet, why haven't we done anything about it? Or for some of you guys, you haven't. Well, this is why I build it into my mastermind. What do you have to build into your programs, products, and services that maybe your customers or your clients, your buyers are not doing, or not listening to you, and so they're at a disadvantage? Do you guys hear what I'm saying? So I'm building this stuff into my mastermind because it's the beginning of the year, and my intention is that my clients are hooked up. Does that make sense? So Richard has been hiring people one-on-one for the last 90 days that are doing 8 and 9 figures in cryptocurrency. That's what they're generating every year. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so he wants to learn from the best. So he's doing that. And then what he wants to do is put something on the back of his mastermind, because he's like, Shanda, I'm so tired of teaching people how to create earned income, because you can't get freedom with earned income. You get it with multiplying. So I'm in a meeting with somebody now to bring somebody to come do this at our mastermind. I share this for two reasons. If you're meant to be live in 1%, the cutoff for you to come to your mastermind is this Friday. We have to have a full RSVP from you. Otherwise, we've got to shut down the doors because of all these people coming and what we're doing. This is all hands-on. Why am I doing hands-on right now, you guys? Because people are so busy in their phones if you guys go look at your screen time, it will shock you. Like if you just open up your phone right now and look at your screen time in your settings, it's a great exercise to do. You go in your settings, you look at your screen time. Look at that, 5 hours on Sunday. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's unbelievable to me. Do you guys get what I'm saying? And it's like, so when you look at that type of stuff, you start to realize you're like, wow, like, and then you open up screen time and look at where most of okay? So all that to be said, the reason why I'm doing hands-on workshops, which means my clients will do this strategy. My clients will do this strategy. My clients will have an experience of raising capital. They'll be clear, right? My clients, hopefully, this one I don't have locked down. I got to make sure it's the right person. Will actually educate them. If I was starting in crypto or in crypto, what would I do? Because these guys are making 8 to 9 figures in crypto. They're thinking about their leadership differently. Does that make sense? Like, it's all strategy. That's it. Like, you can have the same product, but the way you lead the product makes a difference if you're successful. Okay, you got it? Yes? Okay, so now let me share with you my one-page strategic plan. So I want you guys to work with me right now. You guys ready? Say yes. Yes, Shanda, I'm ready. Okay, so I'm going to do a screen share. I apologize that the screen I'm going to go on to is from 2022. So I don't have a 2024, but it's the same sheet. It's just going to say 2022 on the top. This is a great product of I'd rather do this with you than have it perfect. Okay. So this is my one-page strategic plan. And so my friend Randy Garn is who taught this to me. Randy advises people like Dean Graziosi all the time. Brendon Burchard, a huge advisor for Brendon. Rachel Hollis, he helped her a lot as she kind of came onto the scene. Jamie, her new Burke Worthy, like this guy's brilliant. And he says to me years ago, he said, Shanda, if you have a business plan that's bigger than one page, you are trying to do too much. It doesn't work, right? And so you have to really prioritize, what are you doing? Okay, so when I go to one-page strategic plan, vision for the company is one aspect, right? Where's my vision for the company? So when I look at my vision for Heartcore right now, to give you an example, because I needed these examples myself, I put, we have become a network that creates jobs for people, right? And we're raising the annual household income. So it's changing for me. And the reason why it's changing for me, still in the same genre, but my mission is tweaking a bit based on how I see society needs me. Does that make sense, you guys? Based on my superpowers and my strengths. So the vision of my company is we are becoming a network that raises the annual household income by creating jobs for people. Okay, so you don't have to know what all that's about, but that's where our brand is going. Okay, so top 3 goals, right? So one of my top goals is a membership goal. How many people are in our membership? Another goal is our Heartcore leadership training moving into certification. Another top goal for the year is that everyone in my company is owning their roles and responsibilities. Okay, like that, like they're owning it. Like one person has the main ownership of everything. That's a really big focus for me right now. What I'm doing is I am redesigning the company org chart right now for profitability, AI, and the 5 key strategies that we're working on. Now you can write this down. These are mine. One of my 5 is social domination team. Another one is a membership team. Another one is our investor stack, which is, how raising capital to grow, right? The third thing is Heartcore leadership certification. And the fourth thing is Mentor Me Live, help people monetize marketing. Does that make sense? So we're looking to create more marketing geniuses in the Mentor Me Live program. So that's not where they're at right now. That's where we are shifting by the summer, okay, to really help people. Now, those are my 5 strategic strategies. Now, I'll tell you what they used to be. One was list building. And it would be a very specific, like number 1 might be grow my list to 10,000, right? Grow my list to 5,000, grow my list to 100,000. Number 2 might have been build my sales team to 5 people or 2 people that are selling. So just so you know, our metric on our sales team is you have to sell $100,000 to stay on our sales team every month. Make sense? And we pay our sales team very, very well. The industry standard is 10%. We pay our sales team 15%. Right? There's nobody who's doing that but our company. It's a good place to come work, right? We have 6-figure income earners, and then we want to move them to multiple 6-figure, and then you just keep going from there, right? And so number 2 might be, I want to have 2 salespeople selling, $60,000 worth of business every month. Does that make sense? And third one might be, I want to hire a business manager. Would be a strategic move for you. 4th might be you want to monetize your Instagram, or you want to book 100 calls a month off your Instagram, right? But it's like what you're seeing based on where you want to see the company. So before I've had top three goals here, I've had income goals. Does that make sense? I don't currently have an income goal on mine. I mean, I know what I'm going to do when I hit these numbers, but that's not what has driven me. Does that make sense? Like, I just am not driven by income goals, and it's just never really worked out well for me. So I say to myself, what do I want to make? And then I back in, what would I have to do to be able to create that? And then whatever I have to do, I focus on activity versus an end goal. Does that make sense, you guys? So my 5 strategies would literally be backing into that income goal. Okay? Now, a secret to know here, if you have an income goal, is lead gen needs to be one of these strategies. And it might be 2 of these strategies. You might have a social lead gen game, or you might have a paid advertisement, or speaking on stages. You get what I'm saying? Like you want to look at what are your 5 strategies that you're going to just go all in with. And then on the bottom, it's how are you going to meet those 5 key strategies? So for instance, on our social domination, on my first key strategy, my main focus, hold on, let me take you off here for a sec so I can see you. Okay, so when I take my social domination, I really have 3 strategies on social domination. One is we want to be pinning 15 pins a day on our Pinterest. Beast mode is 32 pins a day. I'm committed to 15 right now. Okay, so now what we have to do is go, well, if the how-to for organic traffic, because the whole reason why I want a social domination team is I want organic traffic. Because I have a lot of paid traffic, I want organic traffic. Does that make sense? And the reason why I want organic, so you understand my strategy, is I want search engine optimization. Because just like many of you guys, I am a rainmaker. So if I'm working, we make money. If I'm deploying ads, we get traffic, right? If I'm doing a summit, we get business. The summit's still the most profitable. But if I go to Italy for a month and I'm not driving, or spending money, it slows down, and I don't want to slow down, right? And so I'm building the social traffic game this year so that I can lift some of the workhorse off myself. Does that make sense? And so what I don't want is I don't want to have to be on Instagram 24/7. I don't want that. You get what I'm saying? And so I invested in a team member getting educated around Pinterest, and they went through a nice deep dive training around Pinterest. And I like Pinterest because it has a high SEO, it keeps working, and it has a long runway of organic traffic. Okay. So she's got 15 pins a day. I don't care how she does it. She now on my team has to develop the KPI to do that. And then I measure it every single week. So currently every Thursday we have a KPI check-in, which means how are we doing? Because if you don't have a check-in with yourself or other people, you're going to find that your first plan won't work. Does that make sense? Every human needs accountability, including you. Okay? So I'm going to do, my social domination is about traffic. Okay? You may or may not want to take up social domination. Okay? So, however, we're going to teach it to our clients with the Instagram game. So I'm doing Pinterest as a priority 1. I put P1 next to it. I'm doing Instagram on a priority 1. And I'm looking to generate $300,000 to $400,000 a month off that. Okay, like, so I know what I want to do with it. Does that make sense? You got to know what success looks like. My priority 2 strategy on social domination is I am meeting with someone to book me on very big podcasts, not little ones, really big ones. So I'm looking to meet with somebody to get clear on the metric. If you book me on these, what type of traffic could I rely on to my sales offer, to my free downloadable that then would lead to my membership? My number 1 focus this year is my membership. You guys at Mentor Me Live, I'm going to show you that at the mastermind, and I'm going to show you some spreadsheets that are going to blow your mind. And it's going to take all the guessing out. Okay, so I won't keep going through this. And you can see I've got some empty things because this is what I've been doing all weekend. My beautiful team has been jumping on and off Zooms all weekend as I've been geeking out around this and taking it deeper. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up for you guys is, first and foremost, you're going to hit your goals this year. You're not behind. I mean, we will exceed the income generation that I want to hit this year just by refining onto this. In other words, less is more. Does that make sense? Less is more. And when you could look at what do you want to create and what would success look like, you can start to realize your 5 key strategies. You might take 30 days or 1 week to knock out a strategy, but you want to start knocking that out. Does that make sense? Yes? Say yes to me if that helps. Does that help at all? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so that becomes your holy grail this year. Is literally your vision for your company, your top 3 goals, your 5 main strategies, and this is how are you going to accomplish that. Okay, awesome. Terry has hers. So good. Terry, let's pop you up real quick. Let's just pop you up real quick. Can you pop Terry up with me? Terry, how are you doing on that? Was that helpful to think through?
I've had it sitting in front of me since I got back from the zone, and I'm just finishing my 2nd summit, and I didn't know what a summit was when I met you, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh, good. So you're working off your plan, and what would you say to people about this 1-page plan? Because a lot of times people hear these things and they just don't do it, right? So what would you say to someone?
Well, first of all, commit to it, and it's simple. It's not a lot of overwhelm. It's working points, and just commit to it every single day, all day long.
So good. And what it also does is it allows you to be in a position where if it's not on this plan, it's a distraction.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And it's really easy to see somebody do a product launch online or something. You're like, gosh, I got to go do that now, because you were watching it, you were in it, the content was amazing. Now you feel like you got to go do that. And so this becomes a great holy grail to just say, okay, that's what I said at the end of the year. I'd be super happy if I hit that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not going to get greedy or get weird or get distracted. I said if I did that, that would be a good year. And so, and these are the 5 things that I have decided that if I do these 5 things, I'm going to hit that. Because your 5 things are the areas that you have holes in, right, you guys? Or the areas that you need to double down on. And then that bottom is how do you actually meet those five, like, how are you going to implement those 5 strategies are your brainstorming underneath. And sometimes those are good to do with a couple people, right? And that's why, like, that there's an X factor. I mean, obviously the Instagram strategy, I had literally put social domination, and I was like, I want to be able to create a specific result off social that ends up in our products, programs, and services so that we can make a difference in the world, right? I'm not interested in vanity metrics and having these big accounts that don't produce anything. I'm just not, I don't care what I look like. I care about impact, and so that's a really important factor for me. And then boom, proximity to power. I get this meeting that I've been trying to have for a while, and sure enough, his number 1 traffic strategy is one of the things that I want to learn. And he's like, it's so simple, Shanda. And I was like, okay, instead of just teaching it to me, will you teach it to my clients too in the mastermind? And literally he's like, perfect, ready, done. And he will be there on Saturday, which is going to be awesome. Cool?
Yeah. What I really liked about this too is being able to write it down and refer back to it rather than just, like you said, bunny trailing off onto other things. Staying focused on this, and once you write it down, your brain continues to manifest exactly what you've written down. So it's been very helpful.
So good, so good. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Terry. Okay, social media, I'm going to say goodbye to you. We'll see you tomorrow. And for you guys on Zoom with me, stay tuned. We're going to jump in and dive in deeper with you guys.